Welcome to KSR Datavizon YouTube channel. Now, in the end-to-end project, we are into the final stage. So after going with the multiple steps, now we are going to publish the report. So this is going to be our final part where we will be covering majority of small things that you will be doing in the real time. Now, what happens once you build a report? Now, the next thing is you have got the requirement, you have collected the data from different sources, you have done the data modeling, data cleaning, you have done the report, and we have added some DAG functions. Now currently this is a report which we have. Now this is a report which we have built in the last part. If you have not gone through the video, I request you to see the video first and then come back to this video. Now this is a report which we have built. Now in the real time, what happens is your report will be always restricted. When I say restricted, some of the users who belong to certain location will not be able to access the other location. A very good example, maybe people who are in Hyderabad should not be able to see the Mumbai report. People who are in Mumbai should not be able to see the Delhi report. So this is how there will be a restriction. That restriction, what we are going to have in Power BI is called RLS. RLS stands for row level security. When you are restricting certain data to certain people, that's what RLS. Now how do you achieve this RLS? And this RLS has to be implemented in Power BI desktop. Only then you can push it to Power BI service. Now this is something which we will implement first. Now there are two types of RLS. One is a static one, one is a dynamic one. So usually the most preferred one in the organizations is dynamic one. Now let's see what is a static one and what is this dynamic one. Now going to a report. Now this is a report which we have built, and these are the calculations which I made. Maybe I can ignore this. I'll delete this. And there is one simple pie chart which I've created just to notify you how this RLS works. Now country, if you see, there are Germany, and we have Denmark, and we have the other country. Let's say there are 3 countries. Now what I can do is, this is the entire report. If you see, all the 3 countries will be there as a box, and what you can do is the checkbox, and you can check in and you can see the results. Now what is the total revenue? Total revenue is 28.7 million. Gross profit is 19.8 million. So this is all the 3 countries. Now let us say certain users should be able to see only certain countries. How can we do that? We can go to the modeling part. We can go to the manage roles, and you can start creating the roles. Now what I will do, I will just keep this as a role, and I will go to this geography, and I will add filter country equal to this value. Now again, I'll go to the next role. For the next role, I'll give Denmark. I'll give Denmark role, and I'll go to add geography, add filter, country equal to Denmark. Now I'll go to the next one, Germany. Germany role. Go to this, add filter, column country equal to Germany. Now I'll just click here. So I have set the roles. Now how to make sure whether it's working or not? There is a button which is called view as. So you can just go and view as. How the Germany people will be able to access, just check. See, remember this number, just see now. They are able to see only this much. So all this is someone who has logged in from Germany. So someone who has logged in from Germany will be able to see only the Germany data. Now let's say I want to see Denmark. So you can see all the Denmark sales only. All the report you can see only to the Denmark. Even if you see in this filter or a slicer, you can see only the Denmark. So if you go and see, there were 3 countries here, but I'm able to see only Denmark. Why? I'm restricting the other 2 countries. Now this is something as part of a restriction. Now the problem with this is, now let's say this is roles. So this is fine. a simple one. There are only 3 countries. You can just add it. But what if you add 40 cities, you have 80 regions? What you will do? You can't keep on adding filters like this. So what we can do is we can go with something called dynamic RLS. So before going to the dynamic RLS, let's go and see how we can go to the next step. So I'll stop viewing this. So this is a report. Before going to the next step, we will just try to go with what is a next step. So here, this is a final steps which you are going to do as part of the project execution. Now create a workspace. What is this workspace? Whether you are in a team or you are an individual developer, you always collaborate your work with your team, right? Let's say you're an individual developer, you collaborate your work with your client. Let's say you are within a team, you try to share your works within the team. To share your work and to collaborate the work with the team, you have to create a workspace. Now this workspace is a mandatory step in order to go and share and collaborate with your team. Now how to create a workspace? Now let's go and access our Power BI service. Now all these parts what we have discussed so far, we were implementing everything in a desktop version. For the first time, we are introducing something called Power BI service. Now this set of discussions what we are going to do is something very important as part of the real-time application. Now this is a website, or I can call it as a the complete service level. So we have the service. It's all are this a bit of simple navigations, but the most important part is workspace and my workspace. Now if you want to collaborate your work, you have to create one workspace within the team. Now what is the difference between my workspace and the workspace? Now try to understand what is the difference between a simple rough notebook and your record book. What you will do in a rough notebook, you write all the subjects mix up, you write upside down, you do some drawings, you always use it as a rough. Why? No one is going to see. But how do you maintain your record books? Lab records, you put margins, table of contents, you give some good diagrams, you name them. All is this some things which you do. Why? It is going to be circulated across the class and the teachers. Similarly, whatever you do in the my workspace, it completely belongs to you. No one else will be able to see your my workspace. But when you go with workspace, workspace is something which you will be creating for collaborating your work with your team. Now let's go and create one workspace. Create workspace. I will give retail project. Now if you want to give description, you can say implementing sales report for retail business. Now I'll just create it. Now the next step is you go here, you go and publish your report to your workspace. Now the moment you try to click this publish, you will be asked whether you want to publish to my workspace or a workspace which you have already created. Remember, if you are pushing to my workspace, you cannot collaborate with the team. My workspace is like your rough book, which only you will be able to access it. Coming to the workspace which I've already created, I've already created a retail project. So nothing is there here. So this is a description of the project. So nothing is there. I'll simply go and select this and I will push it. Now this entire report is going to be published to the Power BI service now. Now let's wait for the confirmation message. Yes, it is successful. Now I'll go here. Now I'll click this. Maybe I'll refresh it. Now you can see in the retail projects, so there is a report and a data set that has been published. Now you just go and open the report. Now this is a report which you can go and see. Now this entire report, what you are seeing here, it's basically you are seeing on the web now. You are seeing on the website. Now this is how it will be looking into when you're logging in from your service, right? Now let's go to this. Now the next step is you provide workspace access within your team. Now in order to share your report within the team, what you can do is you can go and provide this access. Now remember, you are the person who have created the workspace, so by default you will be given as an admin role. Now what you can do, you can manage the entire workspace. You are like a group admin who can take care of everything. You can remove everyone, or you can add everyone, or you can do whatever you want. You are the admin. Now what I'm going to do, I can add as many as people from my organization and make them as admin, member, contributor, and viewer. Now let's say I've given access to this person who is from my organization. I've given a viewer access. Now let's say I select one more person and I select them as contributor. Now I'll go and select the other person and I'll give them as member access. Now like this, I can keep on adding the access to as many people as I want. Now what can I do? This people will be able to access the reports. So the basic difference between admin, viewer, contributor, and a member is viewer. When I say viewer, this is the first access which I added. A viewer can only view the report. A viewer can only view the report. He cannot edit anything. If someone is asking to change it, he will not be able to do it. In Power BI service also directly you can change it, but this person will not be able to change it because he is given a viewer access. Now contributor. Now as the name itself it implies, contributor. He is trying to contribute something to the report. There are some changes. There are something which he wants to implement it. This person can go and access the contributor. He can go and edit it. That's the basic rule. Now he can just contribute to the report, but he will not be able to add anyone or remove anyone. Coming to the member. So member is like a team leader. He's like a team leader. He will be able to contribute. He will be able to see, as well as he will be able to give some access to the other people. When I say other people, he will be able to give access to the other contributors and other viewers, and he will not be able to touch the admin. And let's say if I add any other person, if I add any other person as admin, this admin will have access similar to me. Now this admin can remove me. Though he is an admin, I am also an admin, so he will have all the access to remove me. Now all this is something who are going to work with the report. So these are the members where I'm going to collaborate my work. Now what is the next one? I've given the access. Now next, publish. So publish is also something which I've done from here. I have published it and I have got a success message as well. Now this is also done. Now next is we can create a dashboard. Now before going to the dashboard, I will tell you what was the problem with the RLS. Now the problem with the RLS is if there are 20 countries, I cannot keep on adding it manually. Now who has to be given access to this 3 roles? How you can manage it? You can go here, you can select this 3 dots, you can go with the security, and you can see whomever you want, you can start adding them to this country. So this person has to be given access. So this person has to be given access to this. I mean, when I say this one, only this country data they will be able to see, these 2 people. When I say Denmark, so Denmark, I can start adding as many as people. And I'll be adding as many as people here. All these people are within the organization. Now I'll go to, I did not add it. Now I'll go here. Now I'll go here. I can add as many as people. Now I'll add it. Now I will save it. Now, whenever this 4 people logs in, they'll be able to see only the Germany data. So how the Germany data looks, I've already shown you. View as Germany, how it looks. This entire report is restricted to only to Germany. This only the data this people will be able to see. Now, problem with this type of RLS is you have to go and add filters just like I've added here. Now this is something it's going to be hectic task, because what if I have 20 countries? What if I have 40 countries? I can't go and keep on giving hard-coded values. Now what I'll do is I will delete all this, because this is something which I will avoid. This is called static RLS. This is called static RLS. Now we will go and create a dynamic RLS. Now what is this dynamic RLS? Now whenever a person logs in, based on his user ID, we can give the access. For that, what I will be doing is I am going to create one access table. Going to create one access table. Now what is this access table? This access table is going to give me all the user information and what location they're going to access it. Now this is very simple to maintain, because in every organization they'll be maintaining a user information, like all the user ID, username, employee ID, employee name, everything they're going to maintain. I can easily pick the data from either a database or from an Excel or from a spreadsheet or from a shared folder. I can easily pick it and I can give them access. Now what I will do, I'll try to bring this data to my Power BI now, because I can't keep on going and adding 22 countries, right? Now I'll go and get the data. And I'll go and get this access table. Now this is access table. Now this requires some correction because the user and the location has been given as a first entry. Let's go with the transform data. Now once I click the transform data, I'll just make this as first header and I'll name this as access data. That's all, nothing else. I'll close and apply. Now I've added a new access table. You go and see the data. This is going to be the access. Now which user, what location they want to give access, I am doing this. So remember, this is what we'll be doing in the real time. You have to create an access table. You need not sit and write it. Already they will be maintaining, your organization will be maintaining. They'll be maintaining in a database or they'll be maintaining a spreadsheet. You take it from them, and the only thing which you have to add is this location access. Based on which location they want to access, that you can give it. Or else if you're building a report for clients will be from certain locations. That location information will also be there to you. That way also you can take care. Now the next thing is this location. I want to create a join to this geography table. Now simply I'll go to here. Where is my access table? This is my access table. Now this access table, now the country from the geography table is being common with the access table. I'll simply go and create a relation. Now whenever you are creating a relation, there could be high chance that one user can be with more than one location. That's why you are getting a warning like this is having many to many. So usually in Power BI, when you are doing many to many, you will get a notification. This is not an error. This is just a warning. You can still go with it. So it will be mentioned with star. Now what happens? Now I can go here. I have already created an access table. Now I will simply show you one simple table, or maybe I'll simply write one measure. Who is a user? I'm just giving a DAG function, and this is just a name. If it's confusing, you just give OMI. Okay, this is just a name. I'll give something like, there is a one function called user principal name. Now, user principal name is a DAG function which will help us to understand who the person has logged in. Now, this is a simple card. I'll just drag this measure. So this is my system ID, and this is how my information about my system. So this is a person who has logged in. So this information will be very useful when you're publishing your report to your Power BI service. Now I will go here. I'll go to modeling. I'll go to create. Now I will go to the access table. Now I will give user role, and I'll give access, add filter, user equal to user principal name. Now this is a DAG function which I am using. I will save it. Okay. Now what I will do, I will go and publish this now. So I've made some changes. I'll go and publish this. When I publish this, I'll publish to the same workspace. I have to wait for the success message. Yes, I'll go here. Now this is a report. Now I'll go to the security, or I'll show you the report first. See, this is a report which I built. This is something which is a Germany country level, and this is something who has logged in. So the person who has logged in will be having this ID. Now, what is this person's access? You can just go and see what is his access. Based on that access, the report will be, the access to that location will be given. Now, this is called dynamic RLS. Dynamic RLS is like dynamically you can give the access. You can start adding the content in this Excel by automatically by refreshing it. It will get refreshed. And here also you can start creating your roles. Now go here, go to security, and who wants to have access, start adding their ID. Start adding their ID. So make sure these people already have access. Now if I give four people based on the location that has been mentioned in this entitlement data, that location they'll be able to access. But remember, this is a very key point. Whenever RLS has to work, all the users who are going to see the report has to be given only viewer access. If you are giving a contributor access, if you are giving a member access, your RLS will not work. That is what Microsoft says. So Microsoft, if RLS wants to work, they clearly tell us for all the user, you go and give them viewer access. When I say viewer access, this should be viewer access. This should be viewer access. So only people have given viewer will be able to see a location based report. Now this is something which we have built as dynamic RLS. Now workspace is done, publish is done. Now we are going to building the dashboard. Now how are we going to build a dashboard? Just go here, create a new dashboard, and you just tell project, or yeah, you just give project dashboard, anything you can give. I'll simply give this name. Now this is a dashboard which does not have anything. Now after I open the report, whichever visual you feel like it's important and which can be clubbed into a single page application, you're putting into a dashboard. Remember the difference between a report and a dashboard. Report is going to be interactive. It can come from the different sources. It can come from the different system. Whereas if you go and see dashboard is going to be a single page application. It's going to be a single page application. Now what I can do, now I can pin it whichever I feel it's important. I can pin it to the dashboard. Now this is one. Now this is one. This is important. I feel like this is also important. I feel this is also important. And these two are very important visuals. I'll pin it. I'll pin it. Now if I go and see the dashboard, this is a dashboard. Now what happens in a dashboard is a dashboard will arrange all the images or the visuals in a tile format. So this is one dashboard. Now what we'll do, we'll properly arrange it. We'll properly arrange it. Let's say I can put here, this I feel it's important, and I'll drag this down. I can make sure I can arrange properly. Now this is one. Now what I can do, I can just, don't click it. If you click it, it will again go back to your report. This is just compressing because of my screen size. Let me put it like this. Okay, and let's put here. Now I'll just put it in this size. Okay, now everything is in one page. Now what I can do, I can go and give some layout. Like what I can do, I can select some color. Let's say background color, let me put it as black. Tile color, I'll put it like this. And tail font, I can put it like this, and maybe this one. Now this is one dashboard. All the information which you feel seems to be important, you can create it in one dashboard. Now in this dashboard is a single page application which can have all the visuals from different report. You may be having 3 or 4 reports in an project, but end of the day you will be creating only one dashboard. Remember this. Now this is a dashboard. Now this dashboard, what I can do is I can go and edit it, and I can give some good layouts. Now this is something as a part of a dashboard. Whenever you can use it for presentation, you will be creating as a dashboard for the system. Now I'll go to this. So I have a report, I have a data set, I have a dashboard. So I repeat, report can be from different data sets, different data sources, or it can be a combination of different visuals coming from different pages. Everything you can club into one dashboard. So dashboard will be a single page application which is not interactive and which covers all the key points with respect to the report. Now there also you can start adding your headings, titles, fonts, everything you can add. But remember, you cannot go and pin your visuals. So I don't see any pin button here, but I can see a pin button here. So pin button will help us to pin into a dashboard. Pin a value into the dashboard. So your slices will not be able to, you'll not be able to pin it. And what we have done so far is we have created a dashboard, and you can also start to add some title. Let's say you want to add some text box. Let's say you want to add some text box. You can give some title. This I can give sales dashboard, and you can adjust this. you can adjust this. You can change the color, you can change whatever you want. You can arrange it as you required. You can arrange it as you required. So usually we'll be filling the entire page. You'll be filling the entire page. So this is something you can add titles, you can add content, you can do whatever you want. Usually we'll be maintaining one single dashboard. Now once first the dashboard is implemented, now coming back to this gateway. Now gateway is very important. So why is this gateway important is, now in the data desktop, whenever you want to refresh any data, you'll just go and click this refresh button. You'll go and click this refresh button. So what happens, this refresh will happen, it is a manual refresh. Whatever the data is coming from, wherever the data is coming from, it will go and take it and implement it. But whatever you're doing, you are doing at a manual level. Now how to automate this process? That is where the gateways comes into picture. Now gateways is very important. It sets up the connection between your desktop and the service for automating your refreshes. Suppose your client wants every day midnight 3 o'clock to refresh. You can't wake up at 2:55 and you cannot refresh it manually. Who is going to do? You can't do it every day. So what you can do, just like an alarm clock, you can set the refreshes. So that is something which we are going to do now. Now how to do that? The first thing is, you need to go and create a gateway. Now you are creating the gateway for the first time. What you will be doing is, you have to download the data gateway. Now this is a one-time step that you will be doing at the first time initial level. There are two modes. One is a standard mode, one is a personal mode. So this is also an important question. What is the difference between a standard mode and personal mode? Just like you have my workspace and workspace, where my workspace belongs only to you, your personal mode is something which you are only going to access a gateway and no one else. That's called personal mode. So what I can do now, in the report for this data, there is something called schedule refresh. So if I schedule refresh, so here I can go and see the gateway. So currently it is telling you don't have any gateway. Yes, we don't have. Why? Because this is the first time I am logging in, so I don't have any gateway. So what we can do, I have to download this standard mode. So in the real time, I will be using the standard mode only because there are multiple people who will be accessing this gateways. You're not the only person in the team. So I have created this and I will go and run this. Whatever I'm doing, this is something which I'm doing for the first time. I will install this. I will install it. So the on-prem installation I am doing for the first time. So this is a mandatory step when you're doing for the first time. Whenever you're going to set up a gateways, you're going to set up in this way. You have to install the library called on-prem standard mode gateway. Now this is installing. So since I'm going everything from scratch, I'm doing everything from beginning, so it may take some time. Even the installing of the gateway also we are showing it, so please bear with your patience. So just see how it has to be installed, and once so it is trying to install now. Okay, so this is a one-time step. So usually first time only you have to do it. After that you need not do it again and again, because it's a gateway. So gateway is what? It sets up the connection between your Power BI desktop and service. Now with what login I've given, it's like, okay, I've set up this sign in. So it is going to ask password. It is going to ask the password. So we are going to register a new gateway. So this is the first time we are going to create a new gateway. Now I will set this. Now if you want, you can give any password. So new on-prem data gateway, I will give it as connection details. Connection details, okay? And if you want, you can give any password. And I will configure. Now this is a one-time step that you'll be doing in the initial phase. When it's a new project, you are doing it for a gateway. A gateway is something which will set up the connection between your desktop and the service. So this is something which I'm doing. Now I will configure the. It is taking time because it's the first time we are doing it. So first time step is always going to take some time. So yes, the gateway connection is online and ready to use. Now close it. Now go back here, go back to this, and you go and schedule a refresh. Now you see the gateway is details is there, but it is not configured. So what we will do, we will go and see, these are all the parts where the data is coming from. Sales rep, I have the data. So if you see, sales rep is coming from this folder. Categories, it is coming from this. And we have one product, maybe I think it's a product details, which is coming from a database. So everything you need to add to the gateway. These are all the sources where the data is coming from. You need to add them. That's what we are going to do. Now add to the gateway. When you add to the gateway, it is going to ask you certain details. You need to fill it. Where is the file? What is the full path? What is your Windows password? Because your data is in your Windows system, so you have to give a Windows password. And what I will give? I'll give this sales rep data connection. I'm creating a new data source, and Windows credentials, I'll give my Windows credentials. Now I will add it. Now if you see here, this I have created a path. Now I will map it to this sales rep connection. Now this is successful. You can see the tick mark. Now I'll go to the access gateway again. Now this one is a new one which we have added. So I'll give access data connection. Now this is in this path, and Windows password, I'll give this. Still the data is in my Windows system, so I'll give this, and password also I'll give. Now I will add this. Now two data sets I have set up, and I'll map this to this one. I'll map this to this one. Okay. Now the next is I need to add the category. So I'll give the name. Wherever the data is coming from, you need to set up the connection. Then only automatically you can refresh. Category data connection. I'll set the password. I will add it. Now I will go and give this as well, which is also in my desktop. Now this is something which is coming from sales. It's coming from the folder. So say sales data connection, Windows username, password. Add it. Okay. Now you go here, you go and set the next one. So this is again coming from my personal system. See, depending on the source, you need to set up the connection. It will only tell you where the data is coming from. You just need to map the path. So this is coming from, I'm giving a name, subcategory connection. It is coming from the file, whether it is coming from your what source it is coming from, whether it is coming from Oracle, it is coming from SAP, it is coming from Sybase, it is coming from Teradata, whatever you want you can select, but it's a, for me it's a just a file, full path file, and I'll give this path and set it up. Now if you see here, this everything is done. Now this is a very important step because I am trying to bring this data from a database. Majority of your data will be from database. Remember this. Whatever I have added, some files may be in your local file system or it could be in your share folder. If it's in share folder, you need not worry. What I have given as my local path, you'll be giving as a share path address. Now this is my local desktop address or name and the password. So in fact, if you're accessing any spreadsheet or a shared folder, you'll be giving a shared folder's user ID and password. That's the only change. Rest everything is going to be same. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add this gateway. For this, it is like MySQL data connection. Now it is coming from the local host. So in the real time, it could be an IP address of the server. It is coming from the database, and username which I have is root, and the password is this one. Now if you go and see this all 5 things are tick marked. And finally one more is coming from geography. That is also coming from a local system. So geo data connection. Now I'll give Windows password. Now I'll go and add it. Now if you go and see, wherever the data is coming from, everything I have mapped. This is a sales rep data. This is a access data. This is a category data. This is a sales data. This is a subcategory data. This is coming from my data connection, which is my local host server. And this is come from geodata. Now, I think I have made some mistake in this. Some credentials are invalid. I think it's an admin database site, but let's go and apply it. Admin has granted. Okay. So everything is updated. Now, yeah, all are tick mark, and the server is running on my system. So I have set up the connection where the data is coming from. That details also I have given. Next, the next part is I have to go and schedule the refresh. So when you want to schedule the refresh, you have to schedule the refresh like this. When it has to be scheduled, whether you want on a daily basis, you can schedule it, or you want a weekly basis, it will ask whether you want to schedule it on Monday, Wednesdays, and or the weekends. So I usually we usually refresh on every Friday, and we set it up time. We set it up at 3 o'clock in the midnight. So if someone wants to notify, so I'll simply go and give my manager name. I can simply go and access this. Now what I've done, once this gateways is set up, you can see, you can schedule it and you can save it. Now if you go with the refresh history, it is telling on demand. It is now I've refreshed. What is the next refresh? Next refresh is going to be Friday, February 18th. The next refresh is going to happen on Friday, 18th Feb, on this time at 3 o'clock. Now, if you want any other day, you can set it up. Suppose today is Tuesday. Let's say I want to set it up Wednesday. I can apply. So the next refresh will happen on Wednesday. After this, it will be refreshed on Friday. So depending on that, you will be setting up the refreshes. So this is a very important step where you will be scheduling the refresh, right? Now, the next step is, in this, we have to go and add people. So I've already add people. So it's like adding the roles. So you can add as many as role to this group. Let's say I add this people. I can add. So all these people will be able to access a report on based on the RLS that is given. So this is also something which I have done. Now the next thing is subscription and alert. So what I can do is in the subscription part, so basically you can subscribe the report. So what I can do, I can go here, I can open the report, I can go with this report, I can subscribe. So what is a subscription is, so which page, let's say this page 1, if I want to subscribe to all my teammates, I can do this. And subject is updated report. And if you want to do it on a daily basis, you can select the time and till when, let's say this month end the project is going to end. So I can set it up and I can save and control. Now what happens with respect to this report? These people don't have access. Now let's say these are the people who will be receiving it. I'll save and update. On a daily basis they'll be getting the mail, the subscription set. So your email, you'll receive an email based on the frequency you have selected. So if you go and see the email, you will be getting the subscription mails like this. This is some my teammates have subscribed the COVID data to me. So I can go and see their reports. So this reports is something I will be getting as part of the subscription. So this is sent by one user and that information I can see here. So this will help me to access the report based on the subscription. So this is about the subscription. Now what I can do is in the dashboard itself, I can go and set some alerts. When I say alerts, so this is a report. I'll go to this dashboard and I can set some alerts. When I say alerts, suppose the total revenue is above some value. Let's say if it crosses 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it crosses, you just send me a notification. So I've sent the alert. I've set the alert. Now what happens, even whenever you are getting any sales that is happening more than the threshold which you have discussed, you will be getting like this. So the value which I have given was this much and the current value has increased by this much. So this is a very important term because whenever there is an increase in the sales, automatically you will be noted it. That is basically my alert. So this is alert is something which will be part of the business understanding as well. Now we have added the roles, subscription and alert. Then final step what we'll be doing is, so this is a workspace. In the workspace, you can see you can create a app. So what is this app? App is a final product that you'll be creating. So you can create an app and you can give this retail project final app. So this is a description and you can add some logo, you can add some theme color and you can share it with certain groups. And you can set the navigation. Let's say first I want report and then I want dashboard and then I can see it. And if you want to give permission, you can give to the entire organization, and you can make sure you publish this. So there is one mandatory field. Maybe I can give to a certain group. Let's say I am giving to certain group, and I am publishing app. When you publish an app, that will the large distribution it may take. So this is a final step. I'm publishing a project. Successfully published. Now go to app. Now this is my final project. Page 1, page 2, page 3, and the dashboard. So you can avoid these 2 pages. You can just show the report and dashboard. So this is navigation bar where you can navigate between the dashboard and the report, and this will be the final product. This will be the final product. And if you see here, this is an app that has been created. This is an app. And you can make it as favorites. You can see in the favorites tab as well. And if you see this retail project, you have published as an app, you can go and edit anytime. And if you want to share it manually also, you can share it to any users. Let's say I share it to any person, automatically it will go as a Teams mail or copy link. You can send to whomever you feel like. Let's say I send this and I send this. This mail will go and the link to the project will be shared to them. They can directly open the report. Now these are all the steps that you will be covering as part of the report, and the final product which we'll be implementing will be this app. This is a final app. The final app can consist of many pages or whichever is useful, and you can also make sure it can have a dashboard. So this is a final product. So there are small things which we'll be covering. What we will do is we will go and learn in depth everything from now. When I say in depth, RLS separate video will create. For dashboard, we'll create a separate. For generating this alerts, we'll go and separately create it. For subscription, we will create separate, and overall we'll create entire topic by topic, complete video on each topic. So that is something which we'll do. So this completes our end-to-end project. Right from the requirement gathering, we have published the report. So this is what end-to-end project is. We will work on more projects. Please look into all the previous videos as well. If you see from the class 1, you will be getting the link. We will be uploading all the documents in the GitHub. We'll be uploading all the data sets. We'll be uploading this dashboard for reference, and we will also be uploading all the FRD documents. So please make sure you subscribe our channel, and we'll be uploading more content on specific topics in depth, what we'll be doing in the real time. Thank you for watching.